Hey there, vinyl community. Thought maybe I would just got through watching some videos, some great videos by people who showed a bunch of jazz and free jazz recordings. And you know, after watching a video like that, you can't help but be a little jealous. So I went through my collection and grabbed some worthwhile pieces that I thought I'd just quickly show in that area, in that kind of free jazz, spiritual jazz area. Just four quick recordings that always jump to mind and always get pulled out and put on the turntable here at my house. The first is a reissue. Probably many of you are already familiar with it. This is originals of this record are really hard to find, and it's this is the Black Unity Trio. This is really spiritual music, and at the same time, you know, very, I would say, you know, pretty out there, pretty free. And you don't hear this mix, I think, done any better than right here. The opening track on the second side is called, I should show you the track listing there, Opening Prayer. And the whole thing kind of works as a piece of music, as a kind of prayer. And there is definitely a spiritual side of this. One of the unique things that I read about it was that this album, rather than being made in the traditional hotbeds of like New York City and places like that for free jazz, this was made in the northern Ohio, I think I read. And just an amazing recording. There is this reissue of it out right now, and it's worth it. Even the reissue is kind of expensive, so be prepared. But this is a great recording, and one that I'd love to have an original of this. But you know, when stuff starts to get up in that range of a certain range, a reissue might just have to do in case we get real lucky one day, maybe. But so right around those same lines, something a little bit different. Probably my favorite free jazz recording, free jazz, spiritual jazz, is Fanfare for the Warrior. I've heard other people mention this. I know Stunty mentioned it on his live stream one time, that he really liked it. This is a journey. This record is just an amazing journey. Lester Bowie, Roscoe Mitchell, Joseph Jarman, amazing players creating music that is so adventurous and so wild, and at the same time so deeply spiritual. And you hear a lot of people talk about going to church and going places, and to me, you know, listening to something like this can have as a deep effect on someone as going to a prayer service. In fact, why isn't this just a prayer service? Anyway, great recording, beautiful music, and if you see one, these until a few years ago, you could still grab these at a very reasonable price. I don't know what they are on Discogs right now, but if you see one, I know I grabbed this one for just a few dollars. Back when these were I used to run into them all the time, and people would just run right past them. Now I think they've become much more sought after. Art Assembly of Chicago, Fanfare for the Warriors. Beautiful recording. Let's save that one, and so this is one I just got not too long ago. Not real expensive record. This is guitar jazz, guitar free jazz, or free jazz is the right word for it, experimental playing. It's not as experimental as kind of, I think, its reputation is. I've heard people describe this as, really heavy free jazz. It's not. This is something I think a lot of people could get into, and maybe because it is a little more orientated towards the guitar, it might be a little bit more accessible to someone maybe with a more orientated towards more rock tradition. This might be a good way. It's there are some, the melodies are in some cases right out front, and it's also a record that I think you could still get fairly inexpensively. This is an original, but there was a repress of this, and it looks very, very similar. There is a cute, I think the new one has more of a glossy cover than this. I've actually never seen one of the represses, but this one came up not too long ago, and the price was more than reasonable. And I've listened to it a bunch of times online, and I just had to have it. So if you see this, grab it. And finally, again, another free jazz recording that I consider maybe one of my favorites. Art Assembly Chicago player. This is, I believe, his first solo album, and that's Roscoe Mitchell Sound. And this is really heavy free jazz. This is a full bite. So if you're not used to music that's really out to challenge and be, right in your face, this is music that was challenging concepts of Western traditions in music, and the limitations that are put on music in the West. This was in many ways a direct challenge to that, as is most free jazz, intentionally so. Less spiritual and more just kind of, I don't want to say in your face. People say that because that's it sounds like it's just really difficult music to enjoy. And I think that if you listen with the right ears, and you learn to listen to free jazz with the right ears, that you can find the pleasures in it. It won't come immediately. And so for people out there who've seen some of my other videos, and there's music that's maybe a little bit more melodic, and nothing wrong with melodic music, nothing wrong with melodic jazz, but once you discover the pleasures of something like this, I think, let me show you people always ask that I show the label, so. So there it is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. After seeing a few other videos, I was in the mood to just show off a couple of records that might otherwise get lost, not have so much of a theme. I guess the theme here was just some random free jazz records that not really a good starting place. I mean, maybe. A lot of people are really put off by this free jazz. I hear people talk about it, and that's so out there. And I think you can find your way to this music. Just be a little bit open-minded about it, and sit back and listen to the music, engulf you, and not be so worried about listening for riffs or listening for melody. Let that lay back a little bit, and keep an open mind. All right, thanks, VC. Talk to you soon.